Larry DeVizio here, working on a batch of ground beef to dehydrate. I've already started it up. This is very lean, 90-10 mix I got over at the local store. It was on sale, which is a good thing. Still cost me $5 for a pound. Yeah, a little under 5. But, whole point is, dehydrating ground beef is super easy. It's something I hadn't done much before. I don't know, it always gave me the creeps for some weird reason, but I'm getting to it now. All you have to do, it's very simple. You want to reduce as much fat out of here as possible, plus you want to cook it through. You can do that. Just break it up, put it in the pan, cook it, medium heat and medium low, until it is well done, cooked through. You're going to get all the fat you can rendered out of it from the cooking process. Break it up as much as you can also. That'll make it dehydrate much more evenly. Then while I was on the trail, on the not the trail, but on the river in the Asado on a solo trip, I was using this with beef stroganoff packet. Throw it in the water, some water with a beef bouillon cube, let it cook in there for about 15 or 20 minutes to rehydrate, be kind of soft. And then I could throw in the beef stroganoff mix, the little packet, $1 at the store on sale, good one. And I ended up with beef stroganoff for dinner. I also included in that some dehydrated peas that I did. You can dehydrate vegetables really easy if you buy fresh frozen. You literally just dump them on the trays and let them dry up. Okay, so this is, I've been doing, I don't know how long it took me to do this, 10, 15 minutes. Between this and the dog needing to go out, and of course the dog wanting this, and it is pretty well good to go here. Everything's cooked through. This is, like I say, 90-10 mix. They called it ground sirloin. And I'm going to let this go. I got my pan right there. And what I am going to do is line it, cover it with some paper towels. Be right back. Okay, so I went and got some paper towels here. Because again, I want to get as much fat out of here as humanly possible. It's the fat that goes rancid in products like meat, like this, when you dehydrate them. So the less fat, the longer it'll last. I seal these in small food grade bags, and if I'm going to store it for any amount of time, I put it in the freezer and really slow down any bacterial action going on. But again, you're usually good. I've heard people say this stuff will last a couple of years. I don't know. Never got that far. But this is what we got. So, I'm now going to chuck it onto the paper towels here. And then I'll just let it sit for a little bit, cool off some. The fat should drain out. If I'm concerned with it, if I was using you can see there's nothing in here. I mean, it's just dry. If I was using a mix of meat that had a little bit more fat in it, that wasn't quite as lean, what I would have done is added water to the pan, simmered it, then drained it in a colander. That'll really remove the fat. You could also just throw it in the colander and pour boiling water over it. But either way, again, you want to remove as much fat as humanly possible. So I'm going to let this go. Going to let it cool off. We'll get it in the dehydrator, and we'll see how she comes out. Okay, back soon. Okay, I've drained out the hamburger and blotted it with some paper towels and put it onto the dehydrator here. It's I use the screen for smaller items because once this dries up, it will fall through. So this will make it easiest to get off. It's an American Harvester, and the thermostat on it says a setting of 155 for drying meats. I've also dried frozen shrimp on here. My wife picked me up a bag of the small salad shrimp, which I thought were a little dinky, but you rinse them and thaw them for 5 minutes in running water, cold running water. You then dry them off on paper towels and put them in the dehydrator, and they came out very good. And they went with some pasta and olive oil and garlic and other things to eat. So again, got all the meat on here, and we're going to see how it works out. Tomorrow we'll be back. I'll let it dry overnight, and that will be the end of it. I'll then pack it up and store it for the next trip, which should be next week. Thanks a lot. Be back soon. Okay, we're back, and it's been about 24 hours, and this is what we got. This is 1 pound of hamburger, other than the 0.2 ounces I took out, and I'm rehydrating. Now, the way I get this off of here is, you can see it's basically like, and this is what some people call it, gravel. So it's quite hard and crunchy. I don't know if you could hear that, but let me, and this is the way I get stuff off my dehydrator. Easiest way I've found. Is to flip it over, then I can take off the screen, set that aside. Now I have it all here, and I'm going to grab a piece of waxed paper. Okay, I got myself a piece of waxed paper here. What I'm going to do is dump this all onto here. Like I said earlier about using the screen, you can see that you get a lot of powdery material here. I mean, when you consider how big the pieces were and what they shrunk up to. So now, we are going to want to weigh to see how much this weighs after drying. So I'll get my scale on here. Get it turned on. Place that on there. Let's tar it. So re-zero it. And I could have just done that when I turned it on. And we have 3.8 ounces. And interesting, the little bit here that I took out, this part, that weighed 0.2. So we have 4 ounces of meat here. So we reduced from 16 ounces down to 4. So, you know, 3/4 of the weight's gone in water. Now, if I were going to be going on a trip, I use these bags I have here. And I can put whatever amount I wish in. I then squeeze out the air. I don't have a vacuum sealer, and I need to get one. Squeeze out the air, double it up, and then I use clear packing tape on it, and they hold extremely well. I do that for like splitting up macaroni and cheese packages, my dried vegetables, whatever. This is one of the meals I packed up for my Asabo trip. It was one of the backup meals. And right here is my hamburger. I seal it up in these bags. It's not totally airtight, but there's no air exchange going on, I mean, through openings. I use clear packing tape there. My pasta, And, which I'll get into later in another vid, hey, I'm Italian, spaghetti sauce. I make spaghetti sauce leathers. When we make sauce, I'll start the batch out as vegetarian, and I can make that, and I don't have to worry about fats, from animal fats. Then I can put this in. This is 1.5 cups of sauce. So I know how much I put in, and then I break it down that way. So that way when I rehydrate, I just add the same amount of water. I can then throw my hamburger in, let the stuff simmer for 20, 30 minutes, whatever I want to do. I can have it sitting on the side of a fire or on top of my alcohol stove with the simmer ring closed almost all the way down. This is 2.4 ounces. Probably 1/10 of an ounce for the bag, so 2.3 ounces, which would give me about 6 ounces of rehydrated food. So the entire meal using the dehydrated burger at 2.4, I'm sorry, another 5.6, 6.7 ounces is an entire meal. Not bad. And it's good food. So, again, the way I'm going to store this is in a Ziploc bag, because this is going to be for long-term storage, just in the sense of until my next trip, which, like I say, might be about a week. We get that down in here. I know this was a pound, and I will date this. Squeeze as much air out as possible. Now the funny thing is this hamburger is so hard, you can actually tear the bags, so you gotta be a little careful. That's it. This is gonna go in my freezer until needed. So, 1 pound of hamburger comes out to 4 ounces dried. It dried for about 20 hours. I could have probably pulled it off earlier. And here is, that was 0.2 of an ounce. And I'm gonna reach in and grab a piece. Not bad. Whenever you dehydrate meat though, a protein, it will not come all the way back, so don't expect that. So you want it to go in something flavorful and moist. So, but it just tastes like browned hamburger. So that's it. Easy, cheap, gives you a lot of food for the trail, a lot of protein. This is Larry DeVizio. Try some foods. Spaghetti sauce. Head out and have some fun in the outdoors.